Hey everybody, Gulf Coast EDC here. Got a quick video for you today. In my review of my Steinhardt, saw comments about how beat up it was, and since I've had it for, I don't know, close to a year, maybe not quite a year, and I haven't cleaned it or done anything to it, I thought I'd show you what I do to clean my watches and get them back to presentable shape. Now, disclaimer, maybe not everybody wants to do this, and depending on your watch and how comfortable you are with this kind of thing, you know, it's going to be up to you, right? There's no warranties expressed or implied. You know, you do this at your own risk. This is not a tutorial. You should not follow me. You should not do what I do. But with that being said, I've done this to a lot of my watches, and it produces a pretty nice result. I'll also say that, you know, there's probably no substitute for sending your watch off to have warranty work done and have the factory set it back to factory specs. But being as this is a $460 watch, I'm not sending it anywhere to have it serviced or anything like that. In the future, you know, would I send it in for, you know, gasket replacement, movement, warranty work or something like that? Yes. But just to have like the bracelet polished and things like that, no. Not really cost effective as far as the watch, value to ratio goes. But I think you'll see you get a pretty nice result from this. So let's get started. First thing you're gonna need, first thing you're gonna need a dirty watch or beat up watch. Then you're gonna need a Scotch-Brite pad. This is what I use, the green one, works good for me. Container just to kind of have everything in for the cleaning and such. You're also going to need a way to rinse this off. I'm going to do rinsing off camera since I don't have a sink in my garage. You're going to need some dish soap, doesn't matter, whatever you use to use dishes will be fine, and some kind of toothbrush or a brush, to get into those hard to reach crevices. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of give our watch a once over and see what it looks like to begin with. You can see that there's a lot of desk diving scratches on this guy. Pretty rough shape there. Kind of smudgy, I've been touching it and stuff, so it's not really fair, but you can see less on the face side, obviously, because this is the side that's closest to your body, so it gets protected. This away side, though, always takes the most beating. And then the clasp, pretty roughed up there. You can see we're pretty dirty. We got some gunk built up in there and such. And then you can see it builds up in these little crevices here, so we'll want to clean those out. It looks like I still got a sticker on it. I'll peel that guy off too. After we're done cleaning though, since it's going to be pristine when I pull it off. All right, so first thing you want to do is make sure that your stem is all the way in really tight. Okay, the gaskets in here is what's going to keep the water from getting inside your movement. That's a bad day, you don't want that. So once we know that's tight and we feel pretty good about it, we're just going to lay this guy in there. We're going to, try not to drip it on the table. We're going to put just a little bit of dishwashing liquid. It doesn't take a whole lot. And then we're going to take some water and we're going to pour that in there. We're going to fill it up so that the entire watch is submerged in the water. Going to agitate the water a little bit. And then what I usually do is let it sit in the water for a little while. So we're going to let that sit there, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so. It's not a waterproof test. We just want to kind of get all the gunk that's built up and everything to loosen up for us. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, now that it's set for a couple minutes, pull this guy out and time to throw some elbow grease on her. I like making sure to get in between the bracelet clasps there, or the links I should say. Gunk likes to hide in there for sure. Also probably should have said that this is, just cold water, just room temperature water. You don't want to use hot water. Probably the first time you use it, no big deal. Same reason you don't want to shower with your watch on. The gaskets and lubrication that are in your watch are not meant for hot water. The ocean is not hot, and that's usually what a diver's watch is geared toward. So just kind of keep that in mind. I probably should say before we get too far along in this process that your watch has to have a brushed finish on it. If you have a polished finish where it's just like highly super polished, this is not going to work for your watch. So only do this if you have a brush finish. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a brush finish. If you have something like, you think about like a Rolex GMT or, a Batman or just a Batman-esque watch. The way they do that is you've got brushed on the sides, and then down that middle link right here is polished. In that instance, what you would need to do is tape off the middle section and only do the sides. But since mine isn't polished, it's got a brush finish that works out a lot easier for me. And you too, sorry about that. And you too, if you have a brush finish instead of a polished finish. All right, through the magic of television, you can see that it is clean. It's very, very clean. Now, as we can see though, the cleanliness did not take care of any of the scratches. So you still got a lot of dust diving marks here. And that's where the Scotch-Brite's gonna come in. So we're just gonna cut off a little piece. We don't need, this is a huge piece. But I like to get them in this size so you can cut them down to whatever size you need. So for something like this, It doesn't, you just need a square of it. And if we need more, we can cut that off, but just get a manageable square or a rectangle. You know, whatever geometry you're feeling that day. And then I like to wet it, so, you know, just use the soapy water we were using before. And then, not seeing where people go both ways, but I'm a big fan of just going in one direction. As you're doing this, you're really just scratching the watch at the end of the day. It's like sandpaper. And what you're gonna do is take away most of the scratches. Now, you got some huge gash, or you bash this against a cinder block or something, might not take those out, but it will take most of the small scratches out, and then the scratches you put in will all be going the same direction, which give you that brushed finish. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of time either. That's the nice thing about this. Now you can go both ways. I think the grain pattern ends up looking a lot better whenever we just go in one direction. So we'll just do this for a little while and wipe it off and see what we got. Try to keep it in, the same orientation. You can move along the edges of the Scotch-Brite to get, a newer edge if you feel like it's getting a little soft. Wipe this off and see what we're looking like so far. Okay, you can see that some of those scratches have come out. We still got some in there, so let's see if we can get some more of those out. You could, lay it down and do this, however you want to do it. Personally, I just find I get better results if I kind of put it in my hand and stretches out a little bit. That way I can get the bracelet kind of nice and flat. Then I can control how much pressure, and if I'm putting too much pressure, because you're just kind of gliding this along. You're not pushing on it, trying to grind it down. And you can see, as you push on it, it goes down a little bit. But if you start, you're really pushing on it, you'll know. And that way I can kind of tell and make sure that I'm not coming down on it too hard. I like to kind of bump my knuckle up underneath some of these to make sure that I'm hitting them at all the angles, in case you have any scratches down on the edges of these guys. And also be careful, some people tape them off or whatever, but the sides of this are polished. I just make sure not to scratch it. You want to make sure you're going that you're, all the way at the end, and you stop all the way at the end. If you don't, then, obviously you're going to have something that looks kind of uneven, and you want it to look like it's just one grain pattern running all the way the length of the bracelet. Now we'll hit that clasp, which you can see takes a lot of damage there. We may not be able to get all of that out, but we can try. Now this one I don't mind going back and forth. You can go back and forth until you feel like you've got the major gouges out, and then start going in one direction so that you can get your grain the way that you want it. Yeah, you can see that a lot of that's come out. And I see here at the edge though, those are either really deep or I just didn't hit it enough, so we can try a little bit more, try to get those out. I'll put a little extra pressure down there, see if we can get those out. And I also keep in mind that, you know, I'm not trying to get my watch perfect. You know, I'm going to wear it and it's going to get scratches, but just so it's kind of presentable, right? And you don't have to do this every day. But, you know, the wear and tear that we saw in this guy is, you know, somewhere between probably like 9 to 12 months worth of use. And this is just about my daily wear, so, you know, that's a lot. So it's not like this is something you'd have to do every week. Now you can tell from how much wiping we're doing and how those scratches are still there. Those are going to stay. So I'm not going to waste a bunch of time trying to get them out since they won't come out. Just a few kind of deep hairline scratches there that, you know, you're going to get. But obviously a big improvement. So let's move on to the other side. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll do that off camera for you. All right, so after a little elbow grease and, you know, cleaning off the soap and Scotch-Brite mess or whatever, this is what we're left with. So you can see that, you know, 100% of the scratches don't come out. If I'd done a little longer, probably could have maybe gotten some more of these out. But you can see some of the deep ones are going to stay. But I would say, you know, 90% of them came out. Now we're back with, you know, pretty nice brushed finish on that. Clasp looks 100 times better. I mean, there's still hairlines in it, but probably not going to get away from that. You're not going to get every single one out without professional service. Now the clasp is polished, so other than cleaning, not a whole lot I can do about that. Probably could put a brush finish on it, but I'm fine with the way it is. But it's super clean. Oh. Yeah, I forgot we still got the sticker down here. Let's see. Oh yeah. No, it's been on there for a minute. And got the Trident Seahorse etched in it. All right, let's see. Oh, that's nice and clean and scratch free. I'm sure that'll get taken care of. Just a couple of wears. You can see all the buildup that used to be in here and all around here is gone. So yeah, so that's all it takes. And every once in a while, just throw a little 3M buff on it and you'll be good to go. Well, that's all I got for you today. You know, like and subscribe if you dig this kind of stuff. And as always, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.